Waste water everywhere. Jesus Christ. What's going on, man? Y'all get on off in here. What's going on, man? Y'all get on off in here. Off in here about to talk about everything from Bitcoin to ball. Y'all come on, get on off in here, man. What's going on? What's going on? Now come on, get off in there, man. About to talk about everything with Bitcoin to ball. This is about this. This press conference about to start. University of Miami press conference with Manny Diaz. Manny Diaz, I think Lashley at 1:30. Right here in the chat, I'm going to put in the chat right here. The new platform is finally up. Finally, the new platform finally. Well, I look like I'm all to the side. What's going on, man? What the heck going on? Get myself together, man. So for you watching on YouTube, I mean, the link is pinned. The new platform is up. It's different. New platform up is up. It's different. The price is different. Because the work is different. Billy Boston, what's going on, bro? All right, so give me a thumbs up if y'all can hit the press conference. I'm gonna throw it in here. Uh-oh. Give me a thumbs up if y'all can hear him. He's addressing what ESPN said. Okay, let's see if we can fix that. One second. One second. Let's see if we can fix this rap. Give me a... me a thumbs up when you get it. I'm with y'all. I can't hear it either.
In the Orange Bowl. I was around for 4 of the 5 national championships before I graduated high school. It was what.
Give me a thumbs up if you're here. He's addressing what ESPN said. Kirk Herbstreit said, kind of what I was saying.
Hopes or dreams or promises of when you come, we'll get these things. That class of 2020, Tyler Van Dyke's class, and Jalen Rivers, and Elijah Roberts, and Chance Williams, and Restrepo, Flagg, all these guys that are making a lot of big time plays right now. Those are the ones that saw this. Those are the guys that committed to Miami on the back of a 6 and 7 season. And then you saw the 20. We've had here at the University of Miami. Those classes don't happen without us increasing the resources and the support from our administration of what it takes to win here. Now, I will say this, there will always be somebody with more resources. And I will tell you, that's not a Miami problem. That's a college football problem with a capital P that no one really wants to talk about. I mean, the growing disparity in the economic situations of the different athletic departments across college football, what you're seeing now with conference expansion and the TV rights and all this sort of stuff, that's a reality. And that just is what it is. But our best resource here at the University of Miami has always been our people. Always. It's always what we've won with is our people. And people first talk about our players. And that's why recruiting is so important. One game from last weekend doesn't fix anything. It doesn't absolve us for the performances of our first 3 weeks. I'm completely responsible for that. But I know this, what I've learned in my job is that, and I'm sure this is true in any profession, is if you want the organization to be better, you add better people to the organization. And I can tell you for a fact, with the support of our administration, our staff has improved every year. On the field staff, off the field staff, our support and recruiting staff has increased and gotten better every year. And our locker room has gotten better every year. It's not where we need to be yet. It's our job to develop these guys and to put them in position to be successful.
He's addressing what ESPN said this weekend.
But the only way forward at the University of Miami is through recruiting. And we cannot turn, we can't turn and push our recruits away from our program because of something that happens in the short term. The fix is our people. The fix is continuing to get the guys in this area that want to come and play for the University of Miami, and when we go out of area to sell them on the vision that we got going on here. We got a lot of good things going on in evidence by these last 2 recruiting classes. So that's the only way forward. It's going to be the only way forward. Otherwise, we'll repeat the same loop over and over again, turning on ourselves and driving our recruits away, driving our people away. That's not the vision for this university. It's certainly not the vision of this athletic department, and it's not the vision of this football program. Which I'll tell you, all 3 of those visions are completely aligned. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Thank you very much, Coach. And we're going to start with Tim Reynolds from the Associated Press. Tim, go ahead.
Manny, after all that, what I was going to ask is kind of trivial. I had 2 things. One, obviously you start Coastal play in 3 days. The ACC is kind of wide open, to put it nicely. Do you talk about that with the team, or do you have to keep it very on the here and now, that the next game is Virginia and it's the first game in the Coastal and that's what it is? Or do you even think about it in those terms, about how just the ACC has a very different feel already as opposed to a lot of recent years?
Tim, if you look around college football, other than probably about 2 teams, every conference is wide open. And everybody, you look at there's no doubt that's true in the ACC, but there was an unpredictability in college football after
What's going on?
The first couple. And we're only in September still. What I will tell you, and I think kind of on song from where we started a week ago, coming off the Michigan State losses, we're not talking about that. We're not trying to say, hey, you know, like we're not worried about anything except, again, the tangible things in the moment that we still think have to be our focus. You know, whether it's physicality, whether it's protecting the football, we can get a better job on Saturday, taking the football away, we did not do as good of a job as we wanted to on Saturday. Red zone production. I mean, the real things. We're just going to not talk about winning, and we're not going to talk about championship races and conference races, stuff like that. I think the players understand that that's all out there. But that is a reward for doing the little things right over the next 8 weeks.
And as a quick follow-up, obviously you played both guys at quarterback Saturday. Do you expect similar situation Thursday? How are you kind of handling that position going into? Thank you.
Well, first we're trying to see, Garrett's availability. I mean, he's improving and feeling better every day, and was able to move around a little bit today. So we'll see where he's at with that. Based on the performance on Saturday, I don't think either Tyler or Jake deserves not to play if called upon. I think both guys did enough to show that they can move the football team and get us in the end zone, and neither guy did enough to say they wouldn't deserve to play. So we feel like we're kind of where we started. We're blessed with options of different guys that can lead us to victory.
Coach, we'll go next to David Lake from 24/7 Sports. David, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, just touching on the resource thing at the beginning you were talking about. I want to get your thoughts. Just do you feel like the resources in terms of like the facilities and the support?
Jojo, I hear you talking. Jojo, who do you think? You think ESPN drives recruits away, or do you think
there's always
losing
examples of programs
and getting blowed out drive recruits away? Wait for your answer,
How do you
Jojo.
feel like things compare within your own division?
David, I don't know enough about what other people in our division have to be able to say, with certainty. I mean, we, as coaches, we speak to, friends and contacts we have around college football to get some sort of sense. But if I go back to, again, I think of things in terms of where they are on a graph of time and where we were in 2016, where we were in 2019, and where we are in 2021. And what's happening is everything's going up. You know what I mean? And we're
Right. I mean, thank you. Let's not.
Step by step.
Yeah, let's not be weird, Jojo, and think that ESPN
to get what Miami needs. So I think that's a key point.
that anything is worse than not
Our
winning.
administration will always push to try to get more and do more to get us as competitive as we can possibly be. But what's important now is with what we have to maximize what we have. And that's our responsibility as a program to make sure it's going on.
I just follow up about Virginia. Obviously, they enter this week's game with a passing offense that's been very productive. I guess what have you seen from them just on the film, and then also too, how do you feel like through these first 4 games, your pass rush and your coverage has been so far this year?
Yeah, it's going to be a great challenge for us. Obviously we wanted to have more sacks on Saturday than we did. The quarterback was difficult to get on the ground, kind of ran around back there. So we're continuing to develop, continue to work on our pass rush. Being more consistent with our coverage matchups. Some of those times when some safeties have to match up on some play action passes and just being better disciplined with the eyes. Part of that's just some of the youth we played with this past weekend. Virginia's always had a very well coached offense. Robin Nye does a really good job. They've always been very efficient. And what I mean by that is that they've been able to control a game with a lot of short passes. And that's how they would sort of drive you down the field. And what makes them different this year is they're explosive in addition to efficient. They are getting chunk plays. They have 2 wideouts over 20 yards per catch. And that's and they've had some really good players, at wideout, but they've got guys now that can blow past your coverage. They do a nice job with some double moves and some shots, and then they got the tight end, Whois over the middle of the field. They just have a different feel with their personnel than what they've had in the past, and they've done a nice job of adapting offensively to that. But then the quarterback, he's hitting people in the face mask. His accuracy jumps off the film. I mean, there was actually a play where he threw a curl and the receiver's head whipped back because it was so accurate. So all those 3 things, make them a little bit of a more difficult. This game is obviously been a low score and a very tight affair the last 3 years. It would make sense that it's going to be a tight affair again this year. It just seems like what happens when Miami plays Virginia. but they've got the ability to score some points, and we got to find a way to take them off with them and slow down some of that explosiveness.
Coach, next we're going to go to Kobe Price at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Kobe, go ahead.
Thanks, Cam. Hey, Manny. Kind of cut out a little bit. Had some technology issues on my part, so my bad if this is a repeat question. But I had a couple of questions. First, I wanted to ask about the quarterbacks, the Diaz situation, what's going on with him, and I guess Tyler and Jake, where are they at, and if things to step up. Like I said, this is a repeat question. Sorry, just cut out.
It's fine. Like I said, Derek is improving. He moved around a little bit today. The first time, that was good. So we'll see what his status is for Thursday. And then, as I mentioned, Tyler and Jake, both those guys deserve, based off the performance Saturday, to play more. Neither guy did anything to suggest that they shouldn't play more. So, like I said, we've got, today was our Tuesday practice. Tomorrow is our Wednesday, sort of third down red zone type practice. And after we get through tomorrow's practice, we'll kind of get an idea of what the arrangement is.
And I noticed that on the depth chart that was just released to us right before the call started, that James was listed as co-starter with Gervin. What did you see from him on Saturday that really elevated him to that spot? And I guess where are you at right now in terms of, who do you think will actually start versus Virginia?
Don't know yet. In terms of who would start, we'll know that until the end of the week. There's a chance that they can play together in some different packages. I'll just sort of see how that works. But I thought James was confident on Saturday. I think there's still some time where he's got to get his eyes in the right spot and do that. But that's just natural for your first time out there. He can make a play. He tackled well when he was in there. So to me, it's just guys like that just need more at bats, more seasoning. But this is a major step up this week because obviously, like I said, this is the number one passing offense in the country. So it's bad we've got to have your eyes in the right place.
Go next to Mike Barber from the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Mike, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask, first off, since the ACC network came into existence, we've seen more conference games in week 1, week 2. They've kind of become the norm. Has it been a little weird to sit back while the division is kind of eating itself and have to wait your turn?
I just haven't thought about it like that. We've started some earlier conference games in different years, but what we know is we got the 8 straight. We got this one and then a bye and really 7 straight after that. So, but we know what we expect in our league. There's a lot of good football teams in our league. I think sometimes games that people think are upsets is in a weird way disrespecting the team that's winning.
I got something I want to ask Manny.
I said all offseason, NC State's got a really.
What y'all want to ask Manny? Maybe too late to raise my hand.
Wake had a good football team in Boston College and teams like the Pitt. This is a deep league with anybody that can get you pretty much on any weekend. So you got to get yourself in a mindset to play your best every Saturday or Thursday as it may be.
And if I could follow up, you spoke about the passing attack at Virginia. Defensively, they've really struggled the last 2 weeks. They're playing more of that 5 defensive back. They seem to be blitzing less and getting less pressure. How different does the defense look than the past few years that you've seen?
Well, it's hard to when you play North Carolina, Wake Forest back to back. Those are 2 outstanding offenses. Wake Forest not going to hold the football and let you blitz them and sack them. They're just they're a ball out quick type operation, and then they're a problem when they get the run game going. And obviously, North Carolina with Howell, everyone understands what they're capable of. So. Look, we're all adapting. Obviously, Rocco Mendenhall is one of the top defensive coaches in our game, and everybody's adapting to find a way to, sort of go back this back and forth between offense and defense with what they're doing now in the run game and the RPOs, to try to slow these people down. But ultimately, it comes down to getting off blocks and tackling. The respect that we have for Virginia, their personnel from playing them every year. A lot of guys that were in that game a year ago, and then the coaching staff there. We know this will be a great challenge for our offense.
Thank you.
Coach, we've got Tom D'Angelo from the Palm Beach Post. Tom, go ahead for Coach Diaz.
Hey, Manny. How you doing? Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Going back to what you said earlier, do you think the resources the program is putting into it, the administration is putting into football and athletics, and I know your recruiting classes, you're very happy with them. You've had very recruiting classes. Do you think that's resonating more with recruits each year? Do you think they're seeing that? Is that a reason? Is that the reason, part of the reason, the main reason why you feel like your recruiting has
Appreciate that,
stepped
bro.
up? Are they seeing?
Wilbur Cummins,
Are they
man.
seeing these
Shout out
resources?
to Wilbur Cummins, man, new member.
Well, I think that's exactly it. You know, when the dead period ended in June and we had our, sort of barbecue cookout at the new dorms, I mean, those people come and they see that and they're like, holy cow, I mean, this is big time. And we didn't have that. We had the opposite. It was really poor. And everybody that recruited against us would tell, hey, make them show you the dorms. And that would that be the thing that would drive a kid away? You never know. There were so many things that when Coach Rick got here that were easy shots to take at Miami in recruiting. And slowly through Mark's leadership, through Blake James' leadership, and obviously through, the university administration, we sort of attacked all those one by one. And there's still a couple that we have to get,
Let's not address how undisciplined our team is.
But it's better, and the recruiting follows. And I think that's a point, and that's where we got to get. We got to be able to stack 4 classes. We got to be able to get these type of kids to want to play with these guys. Like there should be players that want to come.
Is
play
it time for Avante Williams to get back on the field too?
Defensive players should want to come play with Leonard Taylor and James Williams. But those guys heard stories forever. This time last year, nobody thought we were getting LT and James. And they heard stories forever on why not to come to Miami. And like I said, we've got to get the field on, the on-field products. Not giving people reason to not come.
Not yet.
But we can't panic, and we've got to stay active because the only way forward is that you got to keep adding great recruiting muscles.
And just to follow up on that, you mentioning that the reason you think that, I guess, the arms race, the Taj Mahal, some of these places are building, is a problem. Do you just feel it's because of competitive balance? Do you feel it's because of the perception that these are football factories and all the and it's just a bad look? Why do you think that is that is a major problem in college football?
Well, because of word recruiting, right? Because what's different now than in the 80s or 90s is the unofficial visit or the official visit. People are seeing a lot more than they saw back then. If you look at some of the great players that came through and how few schools they actually ever considered, how few schools they actually offered them. I mean, recruiting is a national thing now. And you can get someone to go for 48 hours. If you can make a 48-hour experience with bells and whistles, if you've got unlimited funds, you can make it. You can make that 48 hours pretty special. I think that's what we've done great in the transfer portal. Because I think recruiting sometimes is about how fancy that 48 hours are. And I think the transfer portal is about what's real and what people really want to be a part of. However, that recruiting still matters. So we are in a situation where again, when you look at what the different leagues are paying out schools and the revenues just from, there isn't an even playing field.
Listen,
now,
in the ACC, since we've been in the ACC, right? In recruiting, you think we've been top
so our ability
15%
to take advantage of that is what keeps
as a
us
whole in
that
recruiting
mix,
every year? Like it'll be Florida State, Clemson, than us. Maybe Clemson, Florida State, than us.
That's why we don't say, well, they
Us,
we're not
Clemson,
worried about
Florida
what they
State,
have.
maybe
But
4
there
every
is
now
a
and then.
reality in
You
college
think we
football
top
that
15%? Give me a percentage you think we've been in every year since we've been in the ACC.
20 years ago.
Coach, we got time for a couple more. We're going to go first to Gary Furman from Canesport. Gary, go ahead.
Hey, Manny, how are you? Because I think of the quality of the last couple recruiting classes that you've alluded to a little bit here today, there is a resounding cry amongst the fan base for you to wholesale play the younger players. Can you talk a little bit about that from your viewpoint and the decision-making process that you go through in determining
65%.
whether to take a talented young freshman kid like a
Do you think
James
we've been in the
Williams
top 45%
and
since we've been
replace
there?
a veteran guy like a Gervin Hall who has played an enormous amount of defensive football for you? And not that that's the only example, but it is a example.
What about in the ACC?
The difference between
So we average 16
a younger
in
player
college
who
football.
might even be ranked a 5-star
That's
coming
crazy.
out of high school, being able to walk onto a college campus like this and be ready to handle
Right.
the load of a ACC game day, for example, like what you'll face Thursday night.
Yeah, well, I think you kind of said it yourself. I mean, you handle those things on a case-by-case basis. It's, who's in front, who's the older guy.
So I think we've been top
what's
12% in the
Who's the
ACC.
younger guy? What
Since
is he
we've been
capable of? And it's really,
What about the Coastal?
what kind of role are they capable of? Are they able to play?
We've been number
every
one in the
snap? Does it make a
Coastal.
difference?
How many times?
Not in terms of the assignment. They
We've
can
top
handle the
maybe 5% in the Coastal.
because, then their mistakes get magnified. Like, for example, obviously the young wideouts were so impressive, right? Charleston Rambo's so
How many
Smith
years?
is still a young guy, very impressive.
We've been the top 3 for how many years? 15 years?
Bouchard's
How many years
still-
did ESPN
still
say?
impressive. Mike Harley's still, one of your top leaders. So that's a good problem. What you really want is you want the rising tide to sort of float all boats. Now, if you have an older guy that's not performing, then maybe his role has to, go down. I don't know they can ever go, 100 to 0 to 0 to 100.
1 or 2.
But you certainly, as you get a sense for how these guys respond in games, you get a sense in terms of what the snap count should be, how much they can handle, how much exposure they can get to the game.
What's going on, Denny?
But it's obviously, Gary, as you know, it's going to be a different speed out there Thursday night than what it was on Saturday. Saturday went exactly the way we wanted it to go. And we think that those guys, their roles are going to increase at whatever spot you mentioned. But the stakes are going to be high on Thursday, as it will every week going forward.
Coach, last two for we're going to go first to Susan Miller-Degnan from the Miami Herald. Susan, go ahead.
Manny, have you heard from
You know,
any of the
I might answer
recruits about about that ESPN? I don't know, whatever it was that Kirk Herbstreit said, and those guys, the thing you're referring to. Have any of the recruits talked to you about that, or current players?
I've had no feedback from any recruits about that story.
And any current players?
No, none of those guys. I think our current players, they get it, but no one's brought that up.
The other thing is, I want to ask you about Leonard Taylor. You got a lot in his first playing time, a lot of snaps. What was your evaluation of his play? He seemed very excited to be out there.
He was. How cool on James Williams' interception. When he gets up to celebrate, the first guy that he runs and hugs is LT on the field. That was a pretty awesome moment. LT played. He did some good things. He can finish a play. He's disruptive in the backfield. when they were building through, and they were, they couldn't get past Jimbo and the Seminoles, and that's how they went. They kept recruiting. They finally got a transformative quarterback, and then another, and that's how they got to be where they are. And there's a pattern of how these things occur and how you build a program. But I don't think they were sitting there saying we'll be fine when Trevor Lawrence gets here. They were still taking all the steps and still trying to compete at that moment. Same thing when when Jimbo got Florida State back up and running. So it's just the way that it goes. So please don't misinterpret what I'm saying is that, oh no, we'll be good when. That's another aspect of it. That's another level of the program. What I'm saying is that on evidence of what we've seen from the 20 and the 21 class, if we stack 2 more classes like that, we're going to be really excited about what our locker room looks like. And that being said, to your point, yeah, we've got older guys, we've got experienced teams this year. Our expectation is to go perform. We know what's at stake over these next 8 weeks. And we think we got as good a shot as anybody. But we're in a league where, the next state, you can see it. You can win them all and you can lose them. That's where we are in this league. So we got to control our performance to make sure that we play our best starting this Thursday night.
Coach Diaz, thanks for spending a few minutes with us today. Good luck on Thursday night against Virginia.
Okay, y'all. Thank you so much.
Record.
Oh, they gone? Yeah, they didn't. They didn't let me ask a question. They only took a few questions. There was still a bunch of hands still raised, actually. That was Manny kind of defending. We didn't catch the first part of him talking about ESPN. Man, first thing first, listen. You want to get involved with the market, man. The market open today. The number scrolling at the bottom. Also, if you're on YouTube, the link to get on the new, it's $35. The link to get on the new platform is up. It's pinned on YouTube. The link is up. I'll place it right here also to get on a new platform. I'll place it in here. But if you're on YouTube, it's already pinned at the top. I place it in the chat right there. Yeah, you just go. Everything is automatic now, man. So we was able to come down on the price. Not working like slaves no more to get people signed up and talk to people and troubleshoot people. The new platform is up. I've been talking about it. Is up. Our money come first, bro. So listen, the new platform is up. I don't know. Recently, this morning we posted, man, one from our watch list, 140%. We got off a stock we put on the watch list last week. It went up 140%. Let me see if we get this in here. Oh, open that back up. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that ESPN story hit home. It's kind of what I have been saying for a while. And Manny kind of defended, saying all the stuff that the great stuff they do with football at the University of Miami. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but it's to me, it's there's too many things that have happened to show that like I said, they don't care, but that is not their focus. I think Kirk Herbstreit was on point, and I think he got it from somewhere. Streeter, I thought you said Stevenson was a good punt returner. I'm not seeing it. I say Stevenson can make a play, and I say he's going to run back. How many games it's been? 3. I say he'll run back a punt. Let's wait and see. I know he gets the ball and he goes forward. You know what I'm saying? From what we've seen our punt returners do in the past couple years, or our kick returners. Our kick returners electrifying to you. He gets the ball and he goes upfield. I mean, I guess at this point, this is all about you can ask for. You know what I'm saying? What you say with the new site? You don't get the cash at me no more. No, bro. No, it's all gonna be automatic now. Y'all play with launch pads. I got an account set up with launch pads. It's a bot now. It's a bot that automatically does it. I don't know. Now, if you want to sign up for the course, for the IOD course, and you want to get in the class, I think you got one more spot left. You can sign up for the course. Send me a text, 786-405-9499. I know. I mean, I know what I see when I see Tyreek Stevenson return a punt. I see the potential. I see the fact that he catches the ball and he tries to make a play. I mean, the punt returners we've had in the past, it looked like we were just trying to catch the ball. So if you can't see it, then I don't know. Compared to what we had in the past, the last couple of years, not when we had Travis Benjamin and all these electric, compared to what we had in the past, compared to Barrios catching punts, compared to, I don't know, we had a few times where it was just a guy back there to catch the ball. A few times. We need speed on kick return. I mean, it seems like sometimes it seems like even our fast guys don't play fast. Nah, it don't. It seems like our fast guys don't even play fast. If your lady treated you like the University of Miami treats your football program, would you stay? Listen, man. Right. Basically. I mean, he gave it up when it came to facilities. He was just like, okay, yeah, listen, we're not ever going to have the best facilities. You know what I'm saying? He gave that one up. Everybody keeps asking about the song on the intro, man. The song is actually a guy, one of X's friends that rap. It's an old song, and he basically was an old song that was sitting on the shelf, and we revived and brought it to life. I don't think Malik Curtis is ready. I don't think Malik Curtis is ready to play yet. We got Lashley actually coming up, bro. I'm up here jacking with y'all. Lashley, we got a press conference with Lashley coming up too. Let me see. 1:30 probably already started. So yeah, if you want the course, you can still. If you want the course.
And between the guys that we got playing at will with Wayman Steed and Avery Huff and those guys, I think moving forward that group continues.
You got a question? Put a question in the comment. You got a question?
We're starting to gel a little bit, and as Coach Diaz always says, this story isn't yet written. We were at a crossroads last week. Coach really challenged us. The phrase we used last week was "we're in the mud," and we talked about being in the mud together. And then it's our responsibility to work together to get out of the mud. And I think we took a step in the right direction last week, and really look forward to playing this team Thursday night again in Hard Rock.
Reminder, please use the hand raise function if you've got a question for Coach Shoup. We're going to go next to David Lake from 24/7 Sports. David, go ahead.
Got a question for Coach
I was
Shoup?
just wondering if you could kind of just expand on what your role is. It seems like you do a lot of things. Is it like advanced scouting? Do you do self-scouting? Are you allowed to give your thoughts maybe during the game to the coaches? Some things.
Well, I mean, my role is whatever Manny needs me to do. I'm if you guys are baseball fans, I'm kind of a utility guy. I've got, for the program overall, I try to be a positive, positive individual around the building all the time. Try to encourage the players, try to encourage the coaches as best I can. With regard to the defensive staff in and of itself, I've got a good deal of experience. I try to bring that to the table as far as game planning, techniques, fundamentals. Maybe I can help some of the younger coaches develop a teaching progression or things like that. As far as game planning and strategy during the week, I sit in on all the meetings. Certainly, Coach Diaz is the boss, but he's got a lot on his plate as the head coach, defensive coordinator, play caller. So if I can help take something off his plate, that'd be great. And then like anything else, I mean, I draw cards, I help out where I'm allowed to, with on the field and with the players, and I help out on game day as I'm allowed to by the rules of college football.
Coach, we've got a couple more for you. We're going to go to Kobe Price at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Kobe, go ahead.
Thanks, Cam. Hey, Coach Shoot. Pleasure to meet you. Kobe Price with the Sun Sentinel.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. Thanks for taking the time. Wanted to ask you about one of the safeties there, James Williams. You've obviously, coached several different places. I guess how rare is a player like him, physically playing at that position, I guess, and also the traits. What have you liked about him? I know he really just got his first significant reps on Saturday.
It's been great. I mean, watching he and Cam Kitchens, I mean, I think they embody, really those two and Chase Smith. I got to know really well over the summer. They spent a great deal of time in the office. They put in a lot of extra time. And to see those guys have a little bit of early success is really, what it's all about. James specifically, when I first met him, I'd heard the name obviously from recruiting nationally, but I hadn't met him. When I met him, I kind of assumed he might be kind of a cocky kid, and it was to the contrary. I mean, he was this humble person. Coach, help me out anyway. Feel free to let me know what I'm doing well, what I'm doing poorly. Really was a sponge as far as trying to learn the defense, to learn the fundamentals and techniques necessary to be successful at this level. I don't know in 30-some years of coaching that I've ever seen a safety as big as him. I think he has the ability to maybe do a lot of things. I think people have compared his skill set to the guy from Clemson a couple years ago, Isaiah Simmons, I think his name was. That played safety a certain number of snaps, linebacker a certain number of snaps, blitz off the edge, do things like that. I actually think Virginia has a player, Noah Taylor, who does some of the same type of things. And, so I think James has a really, really bright future. He's got his head screwed on. He's very humble. He's willing to learn. He's big. He's strong. He's fast. He's got a high football IQ. He's got great character. And I look forward to hopefully the opportunity to work with him for a long, long time.
Coach, we'll go next to Susan Miller-Degnan from the Miami Herald. Susan, go ahead.
Hey, Coach.
Hi.
Hi. You just talked about James Williams. What about Leonard Taylor? Can you talk about him a little bit?
Good question, Susan.
And also, I wanted to ask you, I know we saw Amari in street clothes on the sideline. How's he doing now? Is he playing this week?
I'll talk about LT first. LT's the same. I mean, he's a lot like James. Probably not quite as ready-made as James was to be thrown into action, but it was great to see him get his first action in the scrimmages and throughout the course of the summer, throughout the course of the training camp. He flashed. He's going to be a beast. He's going to be a monster. He's in a position that might be a little bit deeper. Obviously, Jade's played very, very well through the first 4 games. You got John Ford, you got Jordan Miller, and you got Harrison Hunt up front, all pretty good players. So he's probably that 5th guy right there. I know as we get into conference play and through these last, on a weekly basis, the best units and the best defenses I've been a part of have been able to rotate, 4 or 5 defensive tackles or 4 or 5 defensive ends. So, we don't want guys playing 50, 60 snaps. If we can rotate those guys, 40 snaps and get LT his 10 to 15 snaps and continue to, as he continues to improve, I think that's going to be a real positive moving forward. He's got a great attitude. He's got a great mindset. I think he's proud to be a Cane. And I think we put on display last week a tremendous number of young players. And certainly I think it was very, very easy to see and very obvious to even the most casual fan that the future is very, very bright at Miami, and there's some really good young talented players on this team. As far as Amari, I don't think it'd be right for me to speak about any injuries or things like that. So I mean, Amari's doing everything he can, and we'll see.
Thank you.
Coach Shoup, thanks for spending a few minutes with us today, and good luck the rest of the week in practice.
No Trent Krim from the Independent?
No, Trent Krim is not here.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Go Canes.
Guys, we'll have a short break before Coach Lashley joins us at 2 p.m.
Oh, Lashley coming at 2 p.m. Coach Shoup.
Recording stopped.
They just threw that one in there on us, huh? Coach Shoup. So he's not analyst. Maybe that's what they have him down as. But it looks like Manny can refer to him. Susan got a ghostwriter. Man, y'all are crazy, man. Like an advisor, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are crazy stuff about Susan got a ghostwriter. She got somebody write the questions. All right, Dennis. Dennis say he out. Georgia, he said, does it all, coach? Yeah, it seems like probably somebody Manny needs, man. First time head coach, I'm sure he has a lot of questions that need to be answered. I'm sure he does. A lot of crazy stuff went on this weekend, man. One crazy thing is, let me see. This fast kid. Look at this kid. Hope y'all can see this. Look how fast this kid is. Watch this. Let me bring that back for you. I don't know who this kid is. I feel like it's like 76. Man, what is going on? I don't know who this kid is, bro. And I know it's probably some coach out there right now talking about I taught him that. Man, listen, man, if you that much faster than the competition, man, good Lord. I don't know that gap was like 20 yards or something like that. Now that stuff like that you can't teach, bro. That's just natural. That's just natural speed. You definitely can't teach that. He saw when he got him, he put the Jets on. He showed them did. So yeah. So a lot of crazy things happened this weekend. Longest field goal kick was made this weekend in the Lamar Jackson Ravens game. But the weird thing of it is, in another game, the longest kick was attempted, and he missed it, and the dude caught. Yeah, we're waiting for Lashley, Don. And the dude caught the ball 109 yards and ran it back. That was an attempt for the longest field. I think that was 68 yards. And then later, the Ravens attempted a 66-yarder that hit the crossbar and went in. But the reason I thought it was weird was because I had just watched the game that day where they attempted the longest field goal in football history, and he missed it. But I'm trying to figure which team that was, who was playing. And the guy caught the ball in the end zone, ran it back 109 yards. $109, dog. So we got 90 in here, man. 90 in here. What's good, man? Y'all love spending y'all days with your boy Street, man. Vibe with Street got 90 in here. Yeah, so for the ones who didn't hear it, man, the new platform is up. The new platform is up. All you have to do is go to the link now. Unless you want to do the course. If you want to do the course, then you hit me up. I think we have one more spot left. The course, we teach you how to read a chart. We teach you everything we know, how we pick stocks. All of that, the things of that nature. So you'll be able to pick stocks when you come out of there. The IOD Squad platform is just, you can just see what keep starting investing tomorrow. So that's what the link is for, the IOD Squad. And the course is the IOD course. I'm doing one time. I'm doing it one time. This is the only time that I plan on doing it for now. I just want to try it and see if I can pull it off during football season. I've been asked to do it many times because people learn different. So I've been asked to do it numerous times. Some people say they don't learn this way. They don't learn from videos. They need one-on-one. So 6 people. I think I have one more person left to sign up. Have one slot left to sign up. 786-405-949 if you want to do that. And here is for the platform. That's the link for the platform. Finally, we got that up. Finally, we got that part up in the new platform. So it's just $35 now. The price went down because the work went down. The process went down of how we get it done went down. So it's $35 a month, and you get on the platform and you can just see what we're investing in and copy. That's it. Jacksonville versus Arizona. Yes, there was the game. Shout out to the person that signed up, man. I'm trying to put you back up here. I signed up to be a member. Trying to put you back up here. And the 2 that just text me about the investing, I get you when I get off here. Yeah, Lashley coming up at 5. So tell me this, man. Y'all got to see Leonard Taylor. I got to see everybody. You got to see Leonard Taylor versus House of the Blind. What y'all thought? Tell me what y'all thought. What y'all thought about Leonard Taylor? He flashed. Yeah. I figured that. I figured there's things techniques he needs to learn. Look like Alan Hay already has his technique down. He's just not as talented as Leonard Taylor. What'd you say? I get it now, Lewis. You are what the Miami won't win another game this year. Lewis been, I don't know what's going on with Lewis. Lewis been drinking. Let me give me some moderators in here, man. Who want to be? Who give me some moderators in here? Give me some moderators in here going, man. That's what we need. Let me see. Something going on with Twitter right now, dog. Twitter tripping. I think Twitter went down. Something ain't right with Twitter. Somebody say, make me a mod. I'll boot him quick. I don't know. Maybe dog been drinking this morning, man. I don't know, man. T-Rob need to call the plays on defense. Y'all got a lot of confidence in T-Rob, don't y'all? Y'all got a lot of confidence in T-Rob. A lot. Oh, I already got a few moderators. Y'all probably don't even know who y'all is. I got a few of them already. Something going on Twitter, dog. I don't know. Okay, so I swear T-Rob the Savior stop. Did Sap say that? A linebacker from Ohio State is not available. Kyle, what's good? He said that man quit in the middle of the game. Yeah, OSU dude got kicked off the team. What? I saw he was on kickoff. Was he a starter? Was he starting? Yvonne Pope. Yvonne, let me see. Dismissed from Ohio State, Laverne Craig and Pope apologized for storming off the field during the Akron game. Did he say why? Let's see. I'm glad Rooster is back. What they gonna do with Rooster? I'm gonna ask Coach Lashley, huh? I got a question for Lashley. Put it in the comment section.
Broke down on once or twice. I think maybe we could have maybe got the ball out and not taken the sack, but that's stuff that comes with reps. You're talking about a guy like Tyler who I think had 6 or 7 somewhere around there snaps, and Jake never before that. I thought overall they did a nice job of just being efficient, not trying to do too much, and just kind of do their job, get the ball out to people in space, and let them go make plays for them.
With Jake in particular, did you feel like maybe he needed to get going a little bit? It seemed like maybe his ball placement was off a little bit early on for him, and as the game progressed, maybe he got a little more comfortable.
I think Jake did fine. I think the way it kind of worked, Tyler had 2 one-play drives, especially the second drive of the game. I think we hit Richard and kind of one play, and Jake's first drive, his very first pass was off. It's probably not the easiest first. I mean, that's where his read took him to throw the swing. That really wasn't why we called the play, but he can hit that throw and didn't. And then the post to Romello was underthrown. I think other than that, though, I think he threw the ball really well. And but I think it's understandable his first pass or two. I think once he calmed down, I think he did really well.
Coach, we'll go next to Chris Stock from Inside the U. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I was curious about Jalen Knighton. He served his suspension. Where does he kind of fit in? And if he does fit in, what does he bring to the offense? And also, Corey Gaynor, Justice Oluwaseun, were they injured? What's the kind of the prognosis with those guys? Do you hope to have them back this week if they're hurt?
Yeah, those guys are kind of day to day. We've got a bunch of guys right now that are that way, and we're just
they just released the
depth.
They released the depth chart
about like Justice and Corey. And, some of those guys we probably won't know later till game time. Of course, it's a short week too, so we don't have as much time as normal. With regards to Jalen, glad to have him back. That helps give us some depth at that position. He's available.
Word is the question for me.
To play and make an impact.
Is the offense? Is it a different offense you run for
back in the spring?
Tyler Van Dyke
and
Garcia that you run with King? Is there a difference? Put that in words for me. Is there a difference? Is there something you can do with King that you can't do with them?
Had a freshman year last year.
Put that in words.
Really expecting big things coming into this year, so that'll be good to have him. I was really excited how Cody Brown and Thad Franklin ran the other day. They ran downhill, they ran physical, and so that was encouraging too.
Coach, we'll go next to Kobe Price from the Sun Sentinel. Kobe, go ahead.
Thanks, Cam. Hey, Rhett, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much right now. Just hanging in. Wanted to ask you about the young QBs. Go back to them. I guess how, as game planning, how is it? Kind of like preparing. They have kind of different styles. Obviously, Jake's a little bit more mobile, but not like the Eric is, and Tyler, maybe not as mobile as Jake. How is it preparing for them from that standpoint, and also personality-wise? Like, they seem kind of very different personalities. You've been around a lot of different QBs in your career. Like, how is that, having that in the same locker room?
And Jake's tricked you guys if y'all think he's more mobile than Tyler, like that 45-yard run.
Yeah, Jake looked
they're very similar in the standpoint that you're right. They're not as mobile as Eric. They're not bad athletes. They're just not really runners. So from the actual X's and O's, I mean, there's certain things that maybe one does a little better than the other, vice versa. They have their strengths, but stylistically they're similar. I think definitely the personality.
That formation Thad ran out of.
Both great.
Are y'all sure we don't ever run out of that formation?
Even kill, same guy every snap, every day. Jake's a little bit more outgoing, flamboyant kind of personality, and they both are good. You got to be you as a quarterback to be a good leader and a good player. But like I said, the fact that they both were able to play in a way where they're playing like 2 series at a time or here or there, that's not easy to do. As a quarterback, it's like anybody else, you want to get in the rhythm. And there's a reason a lot of people don't play 2 quarterbacks, because it's hard if you're in and you're out, and you're in and you're out. And so I thought they handled that for that really being their first game, and the fact that Tyler played 2 series and Jake played 2 series, and most of the time it was 2-2. There was a couple of times we went 1-1, but they did a good job of, when the other guy was in, standing back and watching. Sometimes if I'm Jake and Tyler starts the game, I'm able to stand back and watch and kind of get a feel for things. I go in. Well, Tyler comes out. He's been out there playing, but now he can see it from a different perspective. Things slow down, and now when he goes back in, maybe he's got some better answers. It's almost like being able to watch some film to some degree of what's going on in real time. And so I thought they both did a good job of trying to be mature and handle it that way. Did good things.
If I can follow up quickly on that, how have you seen the team, the offense, really adjust? With more so the personalities and the style of play. Like you have Jake maybe, like you said, a little bit more outgoing versus Tyler maybe a little bit more calm. How have you seen the team respond to that difference in them? Thanks.
I think they've done great. They know those guys. They've worked out with them and all that for Tyler almost 2 years, for Jake 8 or 9 months now, and so I think they don't care much about the personalities. They like them both. I think the thing they did well, especially the older guys, and they really encouraged them all week and made sure those guys knew that they had their back, and then they went out and played that. They went out and tried to do things. We throw one out probably in the opening drive. We ship Mike Carter catches it, makes a guy miss, and bails him out. So. I thought those guys did a good job of rallying around Tyler and Jake.
Coach, we'll go next to Mike Barber from the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Mike, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I'm curious what you see. These guys gave up 14 points in their first 2 games and then 96 in their last 2. Is it as simple as they were just playing better opponents, or have you seen something exposed in Virginia's defense?
It's a good question. I mean, they're typically a really physical, really stingy bunch. I mean, they really got the better of us last year. We were able to move the ball, but man, we didn't score any points, and they really just, I felt, they kind of took it to us offensively. So it's a great challenge for us because of what they were able to do to us last year. The North Carolina game, there were some outliers there. They were in position, and North Carolina made like 4 just. They threw a hitch, and the guy takes it 70 yards for a touchdown. They hit a little RPO glance to the boundary. He takes it 70 for a touchdown. They threw 2 just incredible throws over the top that you maybe see like Patrick Mahomes make, to Tyreek Hill. So, and I think it kind of got away from them then. I don't think they were in bad position a lot of the time. And then, last week, I think like us, I mean, sometimes you play a team and they play really well. I think Wake played great. Wake didn't get anything easy. They had to grind it. There was a lot of long drives. So I thought, Virginia did a nice job of limiting the big plays that it had got them the week before. And so I think they're trending in the right direction defensively for what they want to do. And like I said, I think they're a great challenge for us.
And if I could follow up real quick, I know they've done it in the past, but they seem to be dropping 5 a lot more, playing the 5 defensive backs, the 3-3-5 alignment, blitzing less, so getting less pressure. Do they look like a different defense schematically than a year ago, or is it not that dramatic?
I don't know if it's that dramatic. I think they're like anybody else. They've had the offseason to kind of tweak maybe some things here or there, or try to play to their personnel. But, I remember from a year ago, it's the same challenge as it is this year's. Their kind of identity is they got 2 different defenses. They've got an odd front defense, like you said, with 5 DBs, and then they got their 4-down defense. And there's some similarities that they do.
Did he say Jalen Knighton will play this weekend? What did he say?
Offense. When you go into a game and from drive to drive, they could be in a different defense, or from play to play. It's hard sometimes to really get maybe your bearings on what they're doing. Whereas if you go into a game knowing they play this defense or they play this defense, it's a little bit easier. So I think that's one of the things that makes them a really unique challenge and hard to prepare for. And I think they do a good job with it.
Thank you.
Coach, we got a few more for you. We're going to go to Manny Navarro from The Athletic. Manny, go ahead.
He on the depth chart.
Right.
Hey, Manny.
I'm going to ask you about those freshman receivers that everybody loves to ask you about. They obviously look really, really good on Saturday. And Brashard just showed you the explosiveness. When you line them up in the backfield for a couple plays, I think you pitched it to him once. Just curious, you know,
So you're not
would you use him as a runner out of the backfield more often going forward? And then with Romello, has he gotten to a point now where maybe you consider him, you know, a guy that's going to be a regular in the rotation?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, I think really since the Michigan State game, Romello played almost half the time, and he did the other day too. So yeah, to me, I look at Romello and Keyshawn like I look at Harley and X, and you know, they're, like I said, they're co-starters. We try to rotate those guys, keep them fresh throughout the game. But yeah, that catch Romello made was incredible. He made some really good plays the week before. So I think you can start to see that, you know, he's a smart kid. Things are really starting to slow down. He understands what we're doing. He's adjusted.
He's starting to slow down. That's good.
You know, I think he's going to do nothing but keep getting better. Richard, yeah, you know, had planned to get him in the app game more than we did. That game, you know, the way it went, it didn't work that way. And then, you know, got him in a little bit against Michigan State. Really probably needed to do a little bit more. And so it wasn't as much even about who we were playing. The plan was always to keep bringing Richard along because you see the playmaker ability.
He said not in playing, or he said it's maybe too early to get him back.
But the great thing about him is he's a receiver. And so you can keep him in the game and run your base offense. And, you know, he does have some running back skills once he gets the ball in his hand. He's not really a running back, but you saw what he can do with the ball in his hand. So that does allow you to maybe, you know, play around and use him a variety of different ways. And then I thought Jacoby George, you know, really stepped in and made a great post route, great catch. And we think he's going to keep coming on as well.
Thanks.
Coach, we got Susan Miller-Degnan from the Miami Herald. Susan, go ahead.
Hi, Rhett.
Hey.
The offensive line played about a dozen players Saturday. How do you think Ja'Kai Clark did at center? You know, just some specifics on him. And I know there were 4 freshmen: Seymour, McLaughlin, if I'm saying it right, Rodriguez, Isaiah Walker. Just who did well among those guys, and Ja'Kai in particular. And I wanted to ask you something about the running, about Thad Franklin and the runners. And, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought for his first game, you know, center, I thought Ja'Kai did a really nice job. I mean, we think Ja'Kai could be naturally a really good center. We felt that way really since we got here.
Cal, these 5 questions.
He played guard out of, you know, necessity, and last year
played, but not a major role.
He was banged up to start the season, and so, but he's been rotating at center and guard, but a lot more center this fall for us already. And honestly, for his first game, I thought he did really well. That's not easy to do, and I think he'll continue to get nothing but better at that position. He's really athletic. He's really smart. I just think he did a good job for his first game. I think the young guys, definitely when they got in there, they did some good stuff from Isaiah Walker to Rodriguez to we call him Big Baby Seymour and McLaughlin. It was good to see a lot of those guys in game situations. You know, they work hard just like everybody else. That's how you develop guys. And what we were able to see is those guys, all 4, we think have the ability to develop into good football players, which is, you know, how you keep your offensive line in your program going in the right direction. You bring in the right guys, you develop them, and, you know, when it's their time, you know, they're ready to roll. And we think those guys, all 4, you know, have the promise that they need to have. Can you say something about the running backs?
Yeah, the running backs and it just seems like it would be very hard to gauge, like, you know, how their performance was against an outsized and lower profile competitor like CCSU. That has to be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of that is fair. I think you're looking at 2 guys that, for the most part, I know Cody got in a few plays, but that's their first college action. For the fact that they were able to come in and run downhill and run physical and not make mistakes, and, you know, the moment wasn't too big for them, I think that's a really good sign. That's the beauty about being a running back. You know, you hand them the ball, and it's like, hey, run where they're not. And it doesn't matter if it's high school, junior high, or college. Some of that carries over, just the speed's a little different. So, and your opponent matters to some degree, but if you're doing it on air, you still got to do it right. And they went out and they did the things right, and they played. Right.
And got to execute.
You know, and they ran football the way we need our running backs to run football downhill. There's a lot to improve on. They're still freshmen. And to your point, we're going to play some really good people starting Thursday. But I think, again, when you look at for the future, Thad showed he's got some ability, big physical downhill back, just like we thought coming out of high school. And then I thought Cody ran the ball real physical as well.
Coach, last one for you. We got Daryl Streeter from Footballville. Daryl, go ahead for Coach Lashley.
Coach, how you doing? My question is there a change in play calling depending on which quarterback is in because of their different strengths?
yeah, I think always you've got to, kind of within your system, tailor to what that quarterback does well and what they like. There may be a few concepts we do that Derek really likes that, maybe Tyler or Jake, they can run and they're fine at it. But if they're your starter, they actually like this and this a little bit better, or they're just, and I think that's coaching. I think, trying to develop your guys and make them where they're as good as they can be at everything. But you're going to build what you do around your quarterback, and, or you should. And because your quarterback has to have success when you move the football and score. And so those guys are all three good players, but they're all three different. And so to the question earlier, Tyler and Jake are more similar, to each other than they are to Derek. And so that's when you're playing those two. You don't have to necessarily totally change it. But yeah, there may be a few calls in the back of your mind when this guy's in, maybe like better because he likes it more, or this guy, if that makes sense. And so, I don't think you'll see like a different offense or a different style, but yeah, we'll try to tailor to those guys' strengths and what they're most comfortable with and what they do best.
All right, thanks.
Coach, thanks for spending a few minutes with us today. Good luck the rest of the week as you prepare for Virginia.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
Sound like Barry White, huh? Yeah, Coach. Shout out to Cal for that. Shout out to Cal for coming up with that question. I couldn't put it in words. I wanted to ask him, how do you evaluate after playing a team like Central Connecticut? How do you evaluate? But he said he answered it right before that. Even if you're playing against air, you got to do it right. So it's more so about the technique and doing your technique right, doing whatever you're asked to do right, vice who's in front of you, and the success of the play. Make sense? Cliche. Boy, you wild. Boy, you wild. You should have. Hey, shout out to Coach Hayes. Hey, you should have been in here when Manny addressed the ESPN. He addressed what ESPN had to say. That must be hit home. They must be don't care about Footballville, because I've been saying it. I've been saying it for a while that we make decisions at Miami that I think some bigger programs wouldn't make. Get that man his lawnmower. I know, man. Y'all check us both out tonight, man. We're gonna be on You Talk tonight. Me and Hayes doing stand-up, cracking jokes. And your mama, boy, your mama's so small, she can do push-ups under the door. Yeah, your mama, boy, your mama's so old, she got Jesus in that yearbook. Jesus is funny, man. Catch us tonight on You Talk, man, doing your mama jokes, dog. Chris Youngs, Chris, come on, Chris, man. Every time he talk, yeah, man. Catch us on You Talk tonight, man. Doing your mama jokes, man. 8 p.m. You Talk. Long as I got your lawnmower, dog, you'll always have a lawnmower. Jake got an average arm. TVD arm is better. I think, man, but Jake, man, I just think Jake's so impressive because he's so, he's so young. Right off the bat, he came out here balling. I heard his dad was dad was a quarterback. I heard his dad was a police officer in one of the worst neighborhoods in South Central. So yeah, he's probably a hard nose. He probably gets it. That boy said your mama's so short you can see her shoes. You can see her shoes in her driver's license picture. Man, you wild, man. No, man. So I got to go back and listen to what Manny had to say. I got to go back and listen to what Manny had to say. Manny came on that thing pissed off. Man, that Kirk Herbstreit, dog. Kirk Herbstreit hit a nerve. Say Jake got that gunslinger mentality. I wish we could watch the highlights on here, dog. I wish we could watch the highlights on here. We got 100 in the chat. Listen, if y'all just getting in here, man, two things. IOD is finally got my link up with IOD. Finally got the new platform up. So you can go join right here. It's as cheap as it ever been. So I advise you to get off in there. If you're on the other platform, you're gonna have to convert over to the new platform. It's kind of automated. You're gonna have somebody contact you when it's time to pay. But now it's changed. It's only $35. It's only $35. It's changed. Now. Only $35. So it's all automated. Only reason you have to text the number if you want to be a part of the course. If you want to be a part of the course and you want to get in the course early October and you want to learn how to read charts, actually learn how to pick stocks, you're trying to take it to the next level and you don't just want to make money. You want to learn how to do it yourself in case I catch COVID and crap out of here, then 786-405-9499. Text me to be a part of the course. 786-405-9499. Boy, I say that thing fast, don't I? Let me see. Plug this thing in here. Yeah, so that's the course. If you want to learn how to actually trade and sit in the course with me 1 hour a week, and we teach you some of the basics and some of the things how we find stocks. If not, if you just want to copy what we do, want to see what we do, click the link. I just put it right there. The link is in the chat. If you're on YouTube, it's pinned at the top. How long we been on here, man? An hour and a half. No, that game Saturday was against JV team. We would know everything we need to know Thursday. Yeah, man, I'm glad we got the Central Connecticut right before the Virginia game. We're gonna talk about the Virginia game Wednesday. We got some interesting things to talk about with Virginia that we see. Dropped a new video last night. Y'all go check that out. Yeah, YouTube usually have a condensed replay of the game. If y'all don't know that, then you're just missing out. If YouTube got every game, every college game, every pro game. I remember when I first started Footballville, my guy used to mentor me, man. He used to be like, listen, man, you better hurry up and do what you're trying to do with Footballville. Because when big money come, they're going to forget about you. I remember the night I was at the gas station, bro, watching the video. And the next video popped up was an NFL game, the full game. And I remember just thinking, oh, shit, the NFL is on YouTube. I remember thinking, like, oh, shit. And this was like during COVID, it happened. It was like, oh, shit, the NFL on YouTube. I remember thinking that, dog. And everything there, man. I went to go watch the Dolphins versus Chicago Bears, 1985, when the Bears was 13-0. And the Dolphins were sorry at Monday Night Football. O.J. Simpson calling that thing. That thing on YouTube, dog. You go see Eric Dickerson play on YouTube. Leonard Taylor didn't look at press. So y'all got to see Leonard Taylor, okay? So y'all got to see what the coaches see. And now, the opposite is Brashard. Brashard Smith looked like Eric Metcalf or somebody. Like, why hasn't he been out there? That's the funny one. A hit dog on holler. They was double teaming Leonard Taylor. I don't know. Y'all got to see him. Everybody wanted him out there. I mean, y'all got to see that. He doesn't look as big as our other tackles. But y'all got to see him in action. He's a kid. He got time to get bigger, stronger, smarter. He didn't look horrible for me. Y'all say he was getting double teamed. I mean, he 5-star Leonard Taylor. He gonna see that. He done played against. He done saw that all his life. But these grown men now with kids and 401ks, it's a little different. Taylor was okay. But we so hard on these kids sometimes. First college game, we right on him. He was all right. I don't know, man. He might not go back to high school or something, man. I don't know. First high school game, we all over him. So listen, bro. Check me out. So now, you text me. Text me if you got a question about IOD investors and IOD investing and stuff. It's fine. But you don't have to text me because the link is in the description now. So you don't have to. And the link is pinned at the top on the YouTube. And it's in this comment section right here. So you don't have to text me. But if you feel the need to text me, well, you do have to text me if you want to sign up for the course, because there's no link for the course. So you want to sign up for the course, you do have to text me. And that's 78. It's gonna be right in the description, dog. I don't know what's going on with Twitter today. No clue. You was most impressed with Troutman. Troutman wants to hit people, dog. He's small, but he wants to hit people. That's what Troutman wants to do. Oh,
I just want to start off
here it is, right
in
here.
response to some comments that
Before
were
we
made
get out
this
here.
weekend on ESPN
There we go.
about our university and specifically about the administration at our university. And
This is Manny. This is Manny talking about what Curb Herbstreit said. We'll listen to a little bit of it, and I'm gonna get out of here.
lack of caring, a lack of standards for athletics at the University of Miami. And I want to remind everybody, it's not 14 months ago when we were in the grips of the coronavirus pandemic. And
in the next 60
oh my God,
seconds,
what's it
I'm
happening?
going to
What's it
show
happening?
to you how we've helped more people pass the FTMO
Oh
challenge.
my God, hush.
I actually want to start off with a response to some comments that were made this weekend on ESPN.
I'm making dinner for a girl. I have a perfect one for you. Sous vide. It's foolproof.
And the assumption that there's a lack of caring, a lack of standards for athletics in my eyes, only through the leadership of our president, Dr. Julio Frank, going on record as an expert in infectious diseases and saying, not only can we have school on campus and the students on campus, which is not a widely held belief at
I don't know, Philly
but we
K.
can play a college football season. Now, that would be a strong take for someone that didn't really seem that interested in athletics. Those two things don't really add up. And because of that, we forget, because we played a 2020 season, not just at Miami, but everywhere. If there not been his leadership, I don't know if the ACC would have agreed to play, and without the ACC, the Big 12 would have for sure dropped out, and the Big 10 and Pac-12 had already, said they were not going to play football. So all the memories, the records, the performances from a year ago have a lot to do.
Okay, so Frank let us play. That don't mean he care about ball. See, and that
college athletics, and specifically.
but that's the level of care that's been given, and that's what I'm saying.
About resources, and I will just tell you from the time that I've been here at the University of Miami, what I've seen change on our campus. The new dorms, the new Lakeside Village, people always recruited against Miami in terms of the dorms. The stadium, I mean, we still beat the drum on the stadium. In my mind, we've got as nice of a stadium as that.
Okay, so we heard the rest of it. So yeah, he said Julio Frank allowed them to play, but that's the level. That's the level of care. I think the level should be higher. That's what I think, in my opinion. So listen, man, I'm gonna run up out of here. A couple people that text me, let me hit you back. I'm gonna hit you back about investing. Maybe you text me for the course because you don't have to text me anymore. Yeah, man. I mean, I just don't like. Yeah. I mean, the level. I mean, you heard the answer. You heard the rebuttal. I don't know if that's gonna sit right with. I don't know. I guess they're saying they like football. We good with football. Let them play. I don't know, bro. But listen, man. I appreciate y'all. Cal, shout out. Shout out to you, man, with the awesome question. Yo. And I'm out of this thing, bro.